Hey guys, welcome back to Goddess Touch TV. I am your host, Nautica, and if you are new to this channel, welcome. If you are a returning listener and viewer, welcome back. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you are feeling the content. So, in light of the recent acts of violence committed by angry white men, I want to share my thoughts about why our government hesitates to call white nationalists what they really are. Terrorists. It is absolutely disheartening that white men in this country get a slap on the wrist after committing violent acts in the name of patriotism. However, I would add that I do not expect anything less. Our country was founded on the genocide of people who did not look like the white settlers who stole this land, as well as many others. Our Constitution is embedded in white supremacy, and every time a mass shooting or a hate crime happens that involves a white male, elected government officials are quick to give every narrative but the one that actually counts. Like, video games are too violent, or this is a direct impact of the lack of mental health care and support of our mentally ill. Or my favorite, it is very clear that this young man was misunderstood and had a troubled childhood. Straight face. Seriously? Okay. Now, I don't discredit the truth that young people that experience troubled childhoods are susceptible to violence and mental illness. It's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But to say that these criminals who commit these hate crimes are only doing this because they had a troubled past is, well, truly disgusting. It shows negligence on behalf of our national government, especially when personal hate-filled manifestos are left behind, saying things like immigrants are invading and that they want to kill all Hispanics and Mexicans. The fuck? I want to bring the 2015 Charleston church massacre as an example. On June 17, 2015, Dylan Roof, a 21-year-old white male supremacist, walked into Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in downtown Charleston, South Carolina, and opened fire. He opened fire on churchgoers during prayer service, killing 9 and injuring 3 African Americans. The shooting targeted one of the United States' oldest black churches, which has long been a site for community organization around civil rights. He also wrote a heart-chilling manifesto that was apparently published months before the premeditated murders. I want to share a quote from the manifesto, but I wanted to give also a warning that this is pretty triggering, and it may be very triggering for some folks. The quote reads, "I have no choice. I am not in the position to, alone, go into the ghetto and fight. I chose Charleston because it is the most historic city in my state, and at one time had the highest ratio of blacks to whites in the country. We have no skinheads, no real KKK, no one doing anything but talking on the internet. Well, someone has to have the bravery to take it to the real world, and I guess that has to be me." I want to also read a quote from an article that the HuffPost posted, and they quoted Shelby Police Chief Jeff Ledford, and he was quoted saying that when Ruth complained he was hungry, cops went to a nearby Burger King and bought the accused mass murderer a meal while he was in custody. He also went to say that Ruth was quiet, very calm, didn't talk, and that he sat there very quietly and was very unproblematic. Yo, like, they took this mass murderer to Burger King because he was hungry and then added that he was not problematic? A mass murderer? These people murder groups of folks and y'all have sympathy for them, not once mentioning their cold-blooded intent to kill based off racial, cultural, and religious bias. America, this is why our country doesn't proclaim these acts of violence as homegrown terrorism. This nation is built on the collective consciousness and mindset of white supremacy. We have people like Trump in office perpetuating shared values and ideas of white nationalist terrorism, which brings me to my next point. It brings into question our tapestry as a country. This hatred is welcomed in our elected officials, our law enforcement, our military. To admit that these mass shootings and hate crimes or terrorist attacks by our own forces us as a country to question our government and the Constitution we stand on. It brings into question where we are as a nation. It also forces us to look into our history and see that nothing has changed. I want to close this off by saying this. Dear white people, this country was built by your ancestors to only benefit you. We the people does not include black people, Hispanics, indigenous folks, Muslims, and anyone else identifying outside of the cisgender white male and female framework and their descendants. You are privileged because this country was built to benefit only you. You know that our liberation means the fall of your lopsided system. You're shaking your boots because we are not letting you get away with your terrorist attacks anymore. The world around you is changing, and you're either going to be on the wrong side of history or the right side of history. Either way, we're done asking. All right, y'all. Peace, happiness, and love. I don't know. This was a very heavy piece to do, but I felt like it was important. Love y'all. I'm out.